It's a part of Mexican history and culture, and the conclusion of this event might have even set a new world record. You're looking at the first World Mariachi Congress. It just wrapped up early this week in the capital, Mexico City, and it brought together musicians and fans to commemorate a musical genre that was born in the 1800s. At that time, mariachis performed primarily at weddings and festivals, according to Reuters News. But their role has expanded since then to include parties, hotels, events, restaurants, anywhere there's a celebration. And the previous record for the most people performing in a mariachi concert was 700. It was set in 2013. At this event, there were more than 1,000 musicians and singers lifting their voices for Cielito Lindo, and one woman who participated said it was incredible and beautiful to be part of something historic. I'm Carl Azuz. This is the world from A to Z. You are the best part of what we do and, other stuff. We've talked a lot about the impact of social media and how the U.S. government's repeatedly warned about its possible harm to the mental health of young users. Well, the nation of Australia may outlaw it altogether for anyone under age 16, including those who already have social media accounts. Why? Similar reasons there are concerns about it in the U.S. Inappropriate images, content that can influence young people's body image, messages that encourage them to mistreat others. These are among Australia's concerns. When would this happen? It's only under consideration right now, but if lawmakers pass the ban, it'll take effect in a year. Whom would it impact? All users under age 16, even if their parents are okay with them using social. Reuters News says about 97% of Australian teenagers do. The law would require Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, X, and possibly apps like Roblox and Reddit to get and keep young people off their platforms. The companies would be punished, likely with a fine if they don't comply, though there won't be punishments for young people who try to keep using the platforms. What do critics say? Some social media advocates say an outright ban would go too far. They think more action should be taken to protect young people from harm and create safe online spaces instead. Other critics are concerned that kids and teens who use social media for mental health services wouldn't be able to get treatment, though the Australian government might allow that to continue. Several other countries are looking at limiting social media use.
In parts of the U.S., RSV is on the rise, especially in young children. Cases of pertussis are 5 times higher than they were at this time last year, and now an alert from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention about a surge in cases of walking pneumonia, particularly among preschool-aged children.
This wave began a little earlier and is much, much higher than what we expect from previous years.
Dr. Frank Esper with Cleveland Clinic Children says symptoms of this milder lung infection can last for weeks and may include a cough, low fever, and muscle aches.
It's typically caused by several different types of bacteria, but the most common one is called mycoplasma. And this is an old friend with pediatricians and adult physicians alike.
Esper says penicillin and amoxicillin, the antibiotics typically used to treat pneumonia, don't seem to work with walking pneumonia, so a different antibiotic regimen may be needed instead.
That antibiotic most commonly is azithromycin, also known as a Z-Pak by many people out in the community. And that actually does treat walking pneumonia very well.
Esper says those who are sick can help slow the spread of any illness by covering coughs and sneezes, by washing hands, and by staying home if you're sick.
Chicken soup yourself back up to good health and then go out afterwards.
I'm Mandy Gaither.
Word and out. What American landmark undertook the work it's famous for in 1892? Ellis Island, Statue of Liberty, Alcatraz Prison, Hoover Dam. Though it was originally used as a fort, Ellis Island became a major port of entry for millions of immigrants in the early 20th century.
On this date in world history. November 12, 1954, the Gateway to America closed its doors. The Immigration Processing Center on Ellis Island in New York Harbor had been in operation for more than 60 years. An estimated 12 million immigrants passed through here on their way to a new life in America, and it's been said that almost 40% of Americans, including yours truly, have an ancestor who came through Ellis Island. It's now a tourist attraction between New York and New Jersey. On this date in 1970, tragedy struck Southeast Asia. What became known as the Bola cyclone, named for one of the islands it washed over, was the deadliest storm on record. It claimed between 300,000 and 500,000 lives. Its effects also contributed to regional tensions and a war that resulted in the independence of Bangladesh.
Where in the world? This is a place nicknamed the Eternal City. It's a capital and popular tourist destination in Europe. It's where you'll find everything from the Trevi Fountain to the Colosseum. This is Rome, once the capital of the empire, now the capital of Italy.
Speaking of the Trevi Fountain, an artistic masterpiece completed in 1762, there's a legend that visitors who toss coins into it will come back to Rome. But as it undergoes renovations, the city of Rome is also looking for ways to prevent overcrowding here through a limited ticket system. That would also bring more revenue to the city.
The Trevi Fountain is normally gurgling with water into which millions of tourists throw coins each year. But thanks to a massive renovation project worth more than $300,000 that includes cleaning and scrubbing up of calcium rust and dirt, this iconic fountain is dry. You know, where the water should be is this metal walkway that is going to offer the tourists who come here a rare opportunity to take an intimate look at this 18th century masterpiece. The walkway will also allow the city to study a proposed ticket system by tracking the ebbs and flows of the tourists through the day. Rome sees some 35 million visitors a year, and around 4 million are believed to visit this site. The city believes that by eventually charging a small entrance fee, they can better control over tourism and protect the ancient stone.
It was one of the things I couldn't wait to see, and I'm sort of disappointed, but I still get to see the beauty of it, you know. So yes, I would pay.
The fountain's last cleaning and repair began in 2014 and took more than a year. But increasingly hot temperatures and a steady growth in tourism traffic have also led to the erosion of some of the basin. The Trevi project is one of many conservation and renovation projects slated to finish in time for the kickoff of the Vatican's Holy Jubilee year of 2025, which will draw millions more visitors than usual to the Eternal City's popular sites. And for those who have come during this Roman construction season, all is not lost. They can still throw their coin into this smaller basin for luck. And they're getting an opportunity of a lifetime to see this fountain up close. Barbie Lotson, Rome.
Washington State is nicknamed the Evergreen State because of its forests of pine and fir trees. And that's not all you'll see if you look up, because the Skyhawks are there at Sky Ridge Middle School in Camas, where Mr. Constein or Constein's class is watching. On the East Coast, Davis Drive Middle School is the place where you'll find the Panthers. Mrs. Bowman's class is watching from Cary in the Tar Heel state of North Carolina. And Massachusetts, the Bay State, is where we're happy to see Mrs. Goodwin's class. Foxborough High School is in the town of Foxborough. A small goat in Hawaii recently got itself into a precarious position. It was so high up in such a remote spot that response agencies reportedly said they couldn't rescue it. Days went by, and when things were looking bleak, some amateur climbers geared up, scaled the cliffside, reached the animal, and got it safely to an animal sanctuary. Yes, they get bragging rights, but even that falls short of what they could say when they came back down. "I got your goat!" You know, I couldn't resist going out on a ledge and bleating that out. There are mountains of puns abilities, even in the Cliffs Notes for puns that are truly the goat, and I never mind ruminating on them, even if some try to billy me for doing a bad job. I'm Carl Azuz. That's the world from A to Z, and we thank you for watching. As always, you mean the world to me.